Hi everyone, welcome to the December 2017 edition of Farsight's Time Cross Project, where we use remote viewing to predict the major news events the month before they happen. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this edition of Time Cross, published on YouTube at the end of November 2017, we have the predictions for December, as well as the recap of how well we did in October 2017. As of the recording of this video, November has not yet finished, so we will recap how well we did in November at the end of December. Also remember that we have 2 new mysteries projects in the works involving 2 teams of the most highly trained and skilled remote viewers on the planet. The remote viewers involved in these projects are Daz Smith, Dick Algire, Aziz Brown, Princess Janae, and Melina Hall. Using these 2 teams, we are going to change this world for the better. So, stay tuned, and please expect miracles. You can't get this anywhere else. And remember, we are not doing this to make money. The Farsight Institute is a nonprofit, and nearly everything on our website is for free, including complete instructional lessons and materials. And our monthly news show that you are watching right now, Time Cross, is also for free. We do all that we do because our planet and our species is in trouble. Deep trouble, deeper trouble than nearly anyone realizes. Secrecy binds our species so that people who think they can get away with things do those very things. Our true history is not what people are taught in schools. The masses are trained to be submissive to authority, believing whatever is told to them by the authorities, and the scientific establishment is too often gripped by fear. Fear to raise ideas that diverge from accepted convention. We do what we do at Farsight because we truly believe that what we do will change this planet and everyone living on it for the better, eventually. It is not easy to change the way billions of people think, but we are making a difference, one project at a time, and you are helping in your own way by watching what we do and by supporting us financially. When you purchase the videos for our premium projects, such as the 9/11 investigation, the assassinations of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., Area 51, the Roswell UFO crash, and our other numerous projects, you are watching cutting-edge research while you simultaneously give us the resources to continue. So you are helping us make this world a better place. Thank you for helping. Now, before we get into our December 2017 predictions, let me give you a brief recap of how we did in October. We are using a scale of 0 to 3 to rate our news stories, where a 3 means that the predictive news story was nearly perfect in accuracy and detail. A 2 means that the news prediction happened, and the description of the event was solid and had only a few and relatively minor errors. A 1 means that the news prediction did happen, but the description had too few details or too many errors. And a 0 means that a remote viewing predictive news story does not appear to have happened. Using that scale for our October report, we can say it was a great month for our Time Cross project. We had 4 news stories from 2 remote viewing reporters, and 2 reports were really big hits. First, Melina Hall reported on a terror attack in a major urban area involving a truck that plowed into people. The details in that report are a remarkable description of the New York City terror attack that happened on the 31st of October, the last day of the month. In that event, an ISIS terror attack was carried out by Saifullah Saipov. 8 people were killed and 11 injured as a truck was driven along a bicycle path for nearly a mile near the World Trade Center, slamming into people along the way before crashing. That report was clearly a 3 on our scale. The second big hit involved a story by Princess Janae, in which she reported on a large city with 2 groups of people. The first, military or enforcement, and the second, civilians. At some points, the groups or elements of the various groups seemed to be cooperating, while at other points they were confrontational. The actions on both sides seemed focused on the leadership of one white male who was located in a central structure. That story was a perfect match to the chaos that occurred in Catalonia, Spain, as a result of a highly disputed independence vote that occurred on the 1st of October. The vote and the attempts to protect the vote were being coordinated by the then president of Catalonia, who was later removed from office by the Spanish authorities. The autonomous police force of Catalonia supported the vote, while the National Police Force and the Civilian Guard intervened forcefully in an attempt to stop the vote that was considered illegal by the Spanish national government. That story was clearly a 3 on our accuracy scale. The 2 other reports in our October Time Cross News show were for relatively minor events. Melina Hall reported on what appeared to be criminal groups that were roving through one or more American cities in the Northeast, hurting some people but scaring a lot of others. There were a few accuracy issues with that report, but it did largely match the repeated attacks by teens on people in the Inner Harbor area of Baltimore, Maryland. There were 2 attacks in October, with the latest one occurring on October 21st. In terms of our rating scale, that would be a 2. Finally, the report by Princess Janae of a water event involving a boat far from land that involved an energy burst on one end of the boat with chemical smells largely matched 2 events that happened in October. An oil barge that experienced an explosion on one end of the boat, followed by a fire in the Gulf of Mexico on the 21st of October, and a large ferry, the Dharma Kencana II, that caught fire in the Java Sea on October 29. Links to these events can be found in our news analysis table for the month of October, which can be found in the Time Cross area of our website. Due to the lack of sufficient detail in that remote viewing report with respect to those 2 events, we would score that as a 1. All in all, across all of the reported events, 2 3s, 1 2, and only 1 1, October was a great month. Many have asked in the YouTube comments for October why none of our remote viewers perceived the Vegas shootings that occurred on October 2nd. Well, as it turned out, we did have a new remote viewer who had a great description of much of that event, but that remote viewer's results were not ready for publication at the time that we published our report. Hopefully, he will be joining us in the near future. The more remote viewing reporters we have, the better we are at covering most of the major news events. In general, we get most of the biggest stories, but we miss some as well due to a lack of resources. But given all of the things that our mainstream news sources don't cover each month, in comparison, we are doing pretty well. And from us, you get the news in advance rather than after the fact. Now on to the December 2017 predictions using our current Time Cross team of remote viewing reporters, all done and published at the end of November 2017. We have 4 great reports, and we have a special surprise treat in our last report, a window into our world, so hang on to the end. Let's begin with a detailed report by Princess Janae, where she reports on a major set of political protests. This, as she describes it, is epic.
Eight 4302786. There's a lot of land, structures, very steep peaks, a lot of subjects. These are just very basic gestalts, very level topography. There's water nearby, a very urban city, extensive foliage there in and around the city. So there's just a lot of foliage here. I hear a lot of shouting, talking, a lot of noise, very, very noisy, very chaotic here. There's some very moderate to cold temperature, activities in the movement between all the subjects. I see steep peaks, but no mountains. These are not mountains. These peaked architecture, maybe. Again, it's just very hot and cold, kind of at the same time. I'm not sure what's going on. Why would it be hot and cold? It's not a fire or anything, but there again are a mass of subjects everywhere. They're a dominant element in this male, female, black, white, brown, everything, you name it. There's just a slew of people here. You have roads, buildings, tall buildings, lots of roads here. People lined, just row after row after row of people standing together, close together. Then you have this giant barricade, which they appear to be enforcement, police. So it's like a standoff between civilians and enforcement here, stopping traffic. There are cars. Nothing's moving. It's just these people are making a stand here. You can just, it's just row after row after row, in and out of the city. So it's like on the interstate, around buildings here. I'm gonna move up 1,000 feet. There are people everywhere. Large groups surrounding this one building. This one building. It reminds me of riots. Reminds me of protest rallies. This is huge. This is a very dominant building. It's huge. It's large. Very odd shaped. It's very asymmetrical. It's not your average rectangle. It's got some shape to it that's different. They're surrounding. People are swarming around this particular building here. This is, again, it feels like a protest. It feels people are very determined. It's supposed to be peaceful, but there is a lot of aggression. You can feel it. You can feel the aggression. You can see the aggression. It's like things are getting out of hand. Maybe something's gone wrong. Something happened. Not sure, but there's something happening to where it could possibly turn unpeaceful. People are determined. They're angry. There's anger. There's loud thoughts. Very loud thoughts. There's chaotic thoughts. I can't really pinpoint who or what or where. It's just everywhere. Like the feeling and emotions from all of these people are here. It feels like I'm in more than one place at the same time. Like whatever is happening nationwide. There are major cities. This affects a lot of people. Major cities everywhere. This is not in just one place. This affects a lot of people. This is very, very large, very big event. Something political starts this. Something that was said or done. It's huge. This is really huge. They're at the end of their nerves. This is like, it's super epic. Like this is not a small thing. It's epic.
Next up, Melina Hall reports on a major landslide event, a natural disaster. This seems to involve a weather event, but it would not surprise me if it also involved an earthquake or perhaps a combination of the two.
Today I will be exploring target 5338-0507. I'm smelling a lot of natural smells. Foliage here and there. A lot of cloud dynamics. Pretty breezy outside. The smell of outdoor grass, trees. The weather feels intense at the moment. I see a city nearby, and I'm getting structures here. Extensive land, and there's a lot of hills area, dirt, ground. Have a natural environment, but man-made structures within this whole environment. The hills are very steep. The hills are steep. Everything feels wet here. Like I'm seeing a land-water interface in the distance, but here I'm getting a lot of wet grass area. And I'm getting also man-made smells too. City ears nearby. I'm smelling a lot of cars. So let's move around. Here in the center, the ground, the hills, man-made land, majority natural land, natural environment. 1 mile to my right, structure, a few subjects there, a lot of dirt and ground. Feels like rocks, sandish, like sand, but more of a dirt area. 1 mile to my left, a lot of foliage, trees, structures here. 1 mile behind me, I'm getting a lot of hilltops, like hills, few buildings, but mostly grass. And this place seems so, it's so natural, like it's not in the city, but it's like an urban area, like more of a living, like homes. But I'm also getting a lot of grass fields and a lot of hills, and I'm getting flat surfaces, but I'm getting like more of a grass and trees and few structures here. 1 mile in front of me, extensive land and a few structures. So let's look. Here at the bottom, like I said, steep hill, grass, trees, dirt. above me, cloudy, cloud dynamics, a lot of mist, very misty like. And 1,000 feet up, I see city nearby, land water interface. I'm getting a lot of like a rushing sound, but from the ground, not mostly from above, but like breakage. I'm getting a lot of rumbling and a lot of dirt, wet, not much of water, but mud, like everything is sliding and drifting from your feet, going up to your knees, kind of, sort of. Feels like the ground is collapsing, or a structure, or things are pushing downward. I'm getting a lot of downward movement. Very breezy outside, very windy. I'm hearing a lot of horn sounds. It's very thrill weather. This weather is very thrilling. But I feel like it's mostly the ground, like the nature of the surrounding, more of the weather. It's very intense. It's like you could fall. You can fall. You can be swept in the ground. It's crumbling and mushy and just very dirty. So I am going to go 3 hours before, 3 hours after. So here, normal day subjects, cloudy weather. Not too much movement, but activity from this subjects, a lot of walking around here. Drizzle of rain. Feels like something just like move the ground, like from the rain or the weather, trees breaking, ground is like the ground is like going in and mushing and like moving. Ground is moving. 3 hours after, people walking over everything. So subjects that live nearby this area are like walking, taking big steps in this dirtiness, this muddy area, like just all this grass and broken trees, sticks. It's just so hard. Like it's like a hurricane almost, but I'm not getting hurricane feel. It's something just shook the ground, or like it's like basically a hill or a cliff or somewhat, just mud and just going down. People are around this area, and it's hard to kind of get away from it and move around it. So hopefully nobody is injured from this natural disaster. So moving on to the center, I'm getting a harsh, man-made, and a mixture of natural environment, and everything is eye-opening for people. They're like, whoa, this is horrible, and so like people are feeling like out of place right now. They're wondering why is the ground and the breakage of the natural area is like, why did it decrease in that way? It kind of make the area looks horrible because it's so big and spacious and steep. People don't know if they can fix this. It's just a lot of mud. Feels like a construction site almost, because this area just need construction work. It's just dirty and muddy, and it's like ruining the center of these homes and the environment the subjects live around. Like, it's hard to get across. It's just a big mess. Ooh, very chilly outside. Very wet. I'm getting a lot of cloud dynamics. It's very cloudy here, misty. And behind me is a lot of mud and wetness and dirt falling. Had to take big steps. I see subjects around me can barely walk around this madness. It's very disgusting to them and kind of disgusting to me too. It's just a big mess. There's a lot of pieces of structures and damaged man-made materials in this mess. It's like a landslide or like something collapsed from above this hill. It's so dirty and just disgusting. It's gross. Somebody looks stuck over there, but they seem to be walking, taking those big steps out of this mess. It's just a big, disgusting, muddy mess. It's, and it's wet. Like, it feels like water, but mostly the wet mud. Like, it's just, the smells. The smell is natural, but it's pretty stinking. It's almost like sewer smells, but it does smell like grass, fresh grass as well. But it have a bit of a stink to it. It's like a swamp that just collapsed, like near this nice area. Not too harsh, because the area is harsh. It gotten harsh. This harsh area is just a big disaster here. I can't really get across the other side. It's just so much trees and branches and rocks. Everything just kind of went downward, and it's hard to move around it. You gotta go all the way around this big mess just to get to the other side. Ew. it's so it's so wet and disgusting here. I feel bad for this area. Like this area, this happened unexpectedly. This whole natural environment, it's like it collapsed and it's on its own. Like the weather and the rushing of the dirt and sand and the rain, which created the water to form with the land and made mud, and boom, it's a whole big mud swamp.
Now, back to Princess Janae, where she reports on a forest fire event surrounding a city.
27225580. My primary gestalts here are land, structures. This is a very urban environment, a city. You see structures everywhere, extensive foliage, mountains. There are mountains everywhere, multiple mountains, city. There's a lot of natural smells, but there's fire and or smoke burning. This is a very scenic vacation-like city, but right now it's roaring with smoke and heat. So I have these mountains, a city burning in flames, or what feels like fire. It's hot and cold at the same time. So it's a very cold environment, but this place is burning. You got cloud dynamics everywhere. From the smoke, it's everywhere. There are a lot of subjects here, but I'm not solely focused on them. They're men and women. They're all around, but they're not the main focus here. I just see these steep peaks, these large mountains, multiple mountains here, forest, foliage around here. And then you just have this city of buildings just coming up in front of it. So you have you can see off in the distance from the city to the trees to these beautiful mountains and this gray sky, and then there's there's a lot of energy here, lightning or a light of some sort coming from the sky, and it hits the trees. It hits a tree, and is it lightning? It feels like it could be lightning. There's smoke, fire, burning, shouting, loud noises. There's subjects everywhere. Dead animals, dead wildlife seem to be dead. Multiple, a lot of them. Why? I'm gonna go about 1,000 feet up to get a big look around at what I'm looking at here. About 1,000 feet up, I'm looking down, and this is originally just a very beautiful city. It's picture perfect, but there's flames in the trees near the mountains. off in the back, and it's going towards the city. It's coming towards the city. It reminds me of a forest fire. You just see, it's so much. It's like this smoke coming from the trees, and then this. It's like a growing forest fire, but it's not. It's not. I don't know. I'm gonna go about 24 hours before this to look at the timeline of events. 24 hours before, you can see this bright, beautiful, undamaged place, beautiful structures, a lot of stone buildings, a lot of natural, undamaged foliage. It's no debris anywhere. It's like the most, it's so beautiful. And then something happens in the forest and it affects the entire city. 24 hours after, it's very dim, it's very dirty, it's dark, it's smoky, there's debris everywhere. Moving to the center of the target, something catches fire. It smells. You can smell the dead wildlife. Almost like it's burning, raw, dead, death. It's very smelly. You can see this. I see this very, very tall structure over here. It's got very odd shaped roof. It's very odd shaped roof. It's like it kind of reminds me of a church or a cathedral. Just this very elegant building. It's made of stone. People are here for protection. They're here for safety. This is a safe place. I feel very at ease here. I feel very safe. I feel unharmed. And it's a whole lot of people that are just in this building, and it looks like to get away from whatever is happening in the city. This feels sort of like a lightning storm, electricity coming from the sky. Trees catch fire. The sky is dark. It's like a storm with no rain. Sky lights up. It's these blue or white, purplish lights. This sky just lights up, and it's this storm. Is it a tornado? I can't say that it's a tornado, but it's definitely this horrible, frightening storm. I don't feel like I'm in the country, the same part of the country where I live right now. I feel like I'm in a different part of the country. This is a place I've never been. You can only see it on TV or in a picture. You can see all of this, and the city is hurting. The city is burning. The city is frightened. The people are scared. They're everywhere, and it all starts in those trees near the mountains. That sounds creepy.
Finally, Melina Hall has a report of a major power blackout somewhere in what appears to be the United States. Although it is always possible that the location could be elsewhere, this event should not be hard to identify when it happens. Now, this report is a bit special. we decided to let you see firsthand the conditions that our remote viewers work under. Each report takes a full day to complete, from morning to late evening. It begins with a remote viewing session done with paper and pen in the traditional manner, followed by a continuation of the session recorded on video. Our remote viewers often work in a studio, and in this instance, we wanted to show you what they are seeing when they do their video sessions, all done totally solo and recorded live. Here is a window into our world.
Today I will be exploring target 85214174. I'm getting a base surface, level topography, irregular topography, man-made land, surface structures, buildings, feels like an urban area. I'm getting subjects. They're actually outside the structure, so a lot of subjects outside. Temperature pretty cool, cold. It's very dark here. Looks like a neighborhood that's close to the city. Feels very close to home. It seems like it's in this area. Kind of like this nation. Feels like the United States. Diverse. I'm getting a lot of white people, black people. It's very dark here. Here I'm getting structures, subjects here. I go up above me, getting cloud dynamics. I see a structure, a non-surface structure. It's metallic, very strange. I'm seeing a city 1,000 feet up. City area, foliage, widespread structures. So, moving around 1 mile. Getting a lot of flatland, roads, still neighborhood area, subjects here in the center, subjects, structure still, 1 mile behind me, foliage, 1 mile here, land, man-made land, a few structures here. Road, street area. So I'm in like this town. I feel like it's a town. It's dark here. A lot of subjects out here. I smell a lot of burning smells. Oh, it's pretty dangerous here. It's very dark. I'm hearing a lot of shouting and yelling. I don't know what's going on. Let's move. Normal day. Regular activity. Just people. Everything just the same. Not too much. Just the city vibes. Here. Something with social media. The news. Something going on television that people at home and everywhere are watching and want to know what's going on. Seems like some type of situation is about to happen. People are scared. I'm getting a lot of frantic energy on the news. Something's going on television. I'm here. Darkness. I'm getting darkness. I'm getting a lot of people outside. Fire, riot-like, but I'm getting more of people feel like they're like threatened by something. It's like some type of blackout. Is very scary here. Feels like it's everywhere nationwide or in certain areas because it's kind of intense because people are wasn't prepared for this and it was at random. Very crazy. People are losing their minds. Let's see. I'm going to move to the center of the target. Okay. I'm seeing neighborhood. Neighborhood, towns, like city areas, stores, shop centers, just a regular area here. Subjects, of course, subjects are near. Now, moving into the moment of this activity, of this target, seems to be something going on in the news and telling us to be at home or stay safe. Something, it's a lot of stuff going on. It feels like a terrorist attack, possibly. But I'm mostly getting something way different, like something with the news, live. Describing this, it's so weird, like everything is weird. People are like watching the news and there's a sudden cutoff, power outing. So it seems like boom, like no power, no nothing, everything just randomly cut off. It's dark. It happens like evening, like heading towards nighttime. Yeah, this is not good. And people are trying to stay as safe as possible inside, but there's like people going outside and wondering what's going on. I'm getting a riot feel. Like, is this a like situation with the U.S. or the military or somewhat? This is so random, and it's like, whoa, what just happened? People are outside, and again, there is a structure above here, but I'm not sure if that has to do with the power being out. It's pretty insane. It's just a non-surface structure looking around, possibly helicopter. I don't know, but it's very dark here in this area. This power outing seems temporarily, but not sure the way people are losing it down the street. There's fire and it's pretty insane here. Very dark. All of a sudden the power goes off. It turns off. So I'm basically getting this feeling of all of a sudden danger or in darkness. People don't know what's really going on. The news are just talking about war and terrorist attacks and stuff, but this is like a whole power outing. It's very insane and people are losing it. Like I said, it's the structure above, but I don't know if it has anything to do with the power being off. Possibly UFO, like around flying in the air, or just a helicopter. It's very dark here and people are just confused, and I'm just getting the grasp of random blackout, and it's very insane. It's so dark here, not one light is on. I'm hearing a lot of noises and voices around me. People are panicking around me. Getting a lot of yelling and screams. Everybody losing their mind. So dark here. People are sweating and it's cold outside. Their skin are moist. People have their families outside. People are telling them, go back in the house. It's fire here and there. So dark. So dark. It's pitch black out here. Above me, there's this non-surface structure. I can't tell if it's an airplane, a helicopter. It's moving very slow. It's sitting there in the sky. Everything else is just dark here. People are afraid. People are running past me. Whoa. This is not safe to be here. Like, it's not safe. Very dark. A lot of yelling, screams, kinetic energy and movement, activity around me. It's like people don't know where to go at this point. It's just dark and dangerous. Feels like somebody or someone or people like made it this dark and started this whole madness here. People in mobs walking around, some people aren't even scared. They're more of a, like, want to have this whole big crowd of anger, like people want this and certain people don't. People are hoping the lights will cut back on even though it's late. It feels like it's nighttime even though it's dark. It feels late. It feels like 12:30 a.m. Feels like 1 in the morning. That's how dark and very, very dark it is here.
So that is it for the predictions for December 2017. In terms of other Farsight projects, please remember to watch some of our recent projects such as Tunguska Complexity, Remote Viewing Area 51, the Roswell UFO crash, the investigations into the 9/11 events, the assassinations of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., the psychology of Adolf Hitler, and some amazing explorations into UFOs and extraterrestrial life. As always, all Farsight remote viewing work is done by highly trained remote viewers working solo under totally blind conditions with no communication between any of the remote viewers. So Farsight projects are nothing short of amazing. And remember that when you watch our Mysteries projects, you are helping us at Farsight do our work, including the funding for our Time Cross project, which we offer free to the public, but which costs us a few $1,000s to do each month. We have no other significant source of income to pay the bills, so you really help when you follow and watch our activities and research. Without you watching our projects, we would not exist. Finally, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Farsight Press, to keep up with the latest. There is nothing like Farsight anywhere else on the internet. You can find information about all of our present and past activities on our website. Also on our website, please sign up for our free email newsletter where we announce all of our major projects. The email newsletter is actually one of the best ways to keep up with all of our activities. Stay ahead of the curve. Let the mainstream fade in the dust. Be there now.